Hello, friends. Welcome again to Great People Interview Series. We have today with us Matt Turner. Matt, welcome to this interview series.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Matt is an award winning entrepreneur, started business at the age of 21, clients in more than 12 countries. He's bought Crawley Town Football Club. Well, we'll ask more about it. Uh, and invested in more than 15 companies. So, Matt, before I get into the core topic, tell us about this football club.
Football club. So I'd always been a fan of Crawley ever since I was like a little boy and used to go and see them play non-league, and then became a sponsor, started to introduce clients. They started to spend money with the football club. I then got offered a non-exec directorship, and then off the back of that, got offered a full directorship, and then two of the shareholders were retiring, and I acquired their shareholding, which was 50% of the shares. And went on to experience the world of professional football.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was good fun.
So you're truly an entrepreneur where you see an opportunity and passion and you just embrace
Go
it.
for it.
Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, brilliant. So tell us the business you do.
So, I mean, I started Creative Pod nearly 20 years ago. Literally, I started it in my bedroom and have grown it and grown it, grown it. So, over that period of time, we've probably won 30 plus awards for the stuff we've done, donated, serious amount of money to charity across the region we're based in Sussex. So I'm a patron for a number of charities. And essentially, we either work on projects for clients, so like things like websites and rebrands, and there's one-off sort of campaigns. And then we also offer a service whereby we become our client's marketing department or an extension of their marketing department, and they pay a fixed monthly fee for it. So, when times are tough, works really well. Or when you're scaling very, very quickly, again, it's a really good service. And we've been offering that globally now, and have picked up clients, like you said, in over 12 countries. So it's good. It's exciting.
Wow, fantastic. So I think my obvious question is, when you're serving clients from more than 12 countries and you are becoming kind of their deal with, uh, because their country, their markets are different to what we experience here in the UK.
Yeah. How does that work? It's interesting. So when I look at a lot of our clients overseas, they are actually marketing to British people who are either traveling in or who are expats in country.
Right.
So they want to work with a British agency. The other thing as well is that one of the hats that I wear, I'm a export champion for the Department of Business and Trade, and British services, financial services, architecture, creative services, they are very, very well respected globally, and there's a massive demand for them. And the same principles apply whether you're marketing here or in another country. The level of research, due diligence, understanding the brand, the audience, the product, getting under the skin of that business is exactly the same. Politics is often different, that is different, and culture, again, it can be quite different, but the premise behind marketing is the same.
Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true. But yeah, I think more interestingly, if there are companies outside UK who want to market to British people, then yes, I think, we are the local, we know what works,
Yeah.
what language to use to kind of, in a subtle way, communicate to the audience here without feeling too salesy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it kind of makes sense, and lots of traditional mindsets and brand guidelines and all that change absolutely if your audience is British. They are. Yeah, so I get what you're saying, and it absolutely makes sense. So, thankfully, we have presence in about 37 plus countries right now, and we're hoping that this interview will be watched by, so many
Amazing.
of those. And those who are interested in um, entering UK market. And well, funny enough, I was talking to one uh, lady entrepreneur this morning, um, and she's from Jordan. And
Oh, Jordan's an amazing country.
yeah, and I spoke to her. Why don't you sell your stuff, which is brilliant, what she does, to the people in the UK? I would like to have your product. And yeah, here it goes. You are already helping those kind of entrepreneurs and companies to market in the UK, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Right. So, just getting into the main topic that we want to discuss today, about, um, from strategic intent to value realization, a holistic view. Could you just elaborate that?
Yeah, I think the thing with value is if you're in a service-based business, you have to sell on value. You can't sell on time anymore. That's a really old-fashioned way of scaling and growing a service-based business. And for me, like, value is everything. So to be able to sell on value, you need to understand what your client's pain point is. Once you know what's painful, then you know what the cost to fix it is, essentially. And like, there are other things in business where for instance, you might do a piece of work or a particular thing for a client and it could make them £100,000, but
Yeah.
it took you an hour to do. So then there becomes this kind of dichotomy where value becomes the driving force. So the value to that person is 100 grand. What's a fair price for that value? And that's the key, being able to price value. And once
Yeah.
you can do that and you can deliver and then you deliver and you continue to deliver, people will pay a premium for having their problems fixed, having that peace of mind, having that due diligence that it just gets done. And that's what's really important. I think as well, when you're having that holistic approach, it's not about being a nodding dog that just consistently delivers. It's about providing value. And sometimes value comes in the form of pushing back on a client, pushing back on an idea and bettering it, essentially.
Yeah. So, what do you think about an M&A deal? And what do you see as the first step, which is obviously a crucial step for any company?
I mean, I've bought quite a few companies over the years. I would say in the last 5 years, I think I've bought 3 or 4 companies over that period of time. Um, and I've kind of got like a hit list now that I look for. The thing when you buy a company, predominantly a creative agency, is 90% of the clients aren't under contract. They're also not under retainer. So what are you buying? Okay, they might have 2 or 3 members of staff, things like that. But essentially, what are you buying? There's very little loyalty. There's a good chance the clients might leave, and then you've paid a load of money for something that's a shell of a business compared to what it was. Often with smaller agencies as well, a lot of those clients are connected to the agency because of the founder. So
Yeah.
then when you remove that founder, that relationship's no longer there. So they're all the sort of things I sort of take into account. The big thing for me when I buy a company is that the first thing I always tell the opposition is they can never talk to me before 4 p.m. That's my only rule. That's my only rule. And the reason I have that rule, for a number of reasons. One, it's a strange thing to say to somebody. So when you say something so specific, it makes them value it and appreciate your time. That's the first thing. It puts an unbelievable amount of value to your time. Secondly, whenever you buy a business, it's a bit like having a new girlfriend. It's exciting. It's all those sort of kind of like connotations. You want to get stuck in and kind of like start growing the company, and you see all of the opportunity and all of the glitz and the glamour. Sometimes you can fall foul of seeing some of the holes or the pitfalls, and when you are negotiating, buying a business, you don't want to be distracted. So that's the first thing. So like, if you talk to me after 4 p.m., you're going to get my full attention, and I'm not going to get distracted. And secondly, there's a very good chance during the negotiations that you might piss me off. And it's much better to do that at 4 o'clock so I can then sleep on it and wake up the next day fresh rather than destroying my day by pissing me off at 9 a.m. And it works really well. And plus, the other thing is that, when you do buy a business, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And what you also don't want is the other side to get distracted by the exit process. Because what tends to happen is the minute the other side gets distracted, the business starts to slip. And if the negotiations take 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it may take, you might have lost X amount of value over that time because they've been distracted in terms of the negotiations. Whereas really you want them to continue running and growing the company so that when you pick it up, it's actually worth a little bit more than when you first started those negotiations.
Wow, what a fresh insight that I
Yeah.
have never heard in any of these VC forums or any of these investor forums. And
Yeah.
heard of this, but
The other thing as well, if you have that rule about not being able to talk to me until after 4, the lawyers don't take your pants down when it comes to the billables, because I know they can only bill me for that last proportion of the day.
Clever man.
I tend to do fixed fees, but there are sometimes lots of people involved, and it can be like herding frogs. You need to have a little bit of unity across all of the different people involved in the deal. So that's why I kind of have that structure, and it just keeps everyone really focused.
Yeah, no, absolutely true. I think we always say this in investor forums or those kind of groups that, when you go for this funding, whether it's buyer or seller, both have to put in a lot of time. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons why people don't go for investment is because they don't want to be distracted from what they're doing. And they said, well, I can't afford the time right now. But then at the same time, I want funding. So I think you probably need to patent this idea.
I'm not sure that'll get past the lawyers.
Yeah, well, I
And
mean,
also the other thing is, by having that idea, your weekend will never get disturbed, never get spoiled,
yeah,
because no one's ever going to want to have a call with you at 4 o'clock on a Friday.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
and it
think
makes a big difference.
yeah, I think you've done that so many times. You kind
Yeah,
of came up with your own formula
yeah,
rather than, people like us having had, even I had, two, well, I went through two acquisitions, but I didn't acquire, I got acquired. So obviously I was on the other side. But, I think you kind of evolved with your own formula,
yeah,
innovated, and you created a structure, which is really,
yeah.
really brilliant.
Same with investing as well. I've got a structure when it comes to investing,
Wow.
and that works really well. And that's been a structure that has evolved through mistakes, essentially.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, so it seems that you are the man with all the solutions sorted.
I
And
wouldn't go that far.
but still, I know there are new challenges every day, every month. So what are your challenges now with your current business?
I try and avoid the word challenges
Mhm.
and use the word opportunities, because
Yeah,
what could
absolutely.
what could kill you as a business can often make you as a business. So when I look at the industry as such, the things that are affecting the industry, recruitment,
Yeah,
that's a big part.
yeah,
When you look at when you look at the people coming up through marketing and creative services, some of them don't have the work ethic of the generation before them.
yeah,
AI obviously plays a really, really big part, and it's how you utilize AI to basically supercharge your agency rather than AI sinking your agency. That's probably the key. Um, Finding the right clients. That's probably, I think every business, doesn't matter what sector you're in, that is, the holy grail. Working with the right people, and it's amazing how people can change once they start paying you as well. So having the right staff the right clients, the right processes, and not letting all of these other things that change and evolve affect you. So the thing is that I think every business has them. So it could be Trump's tariffs. All of a sudden that causes problems. It could be legislative changes from governments and things like that, where rules and regulations change. And that has an impact on your business. I mean, fortunately for me, being in the service-based business, those things don't affect it. We don't have any debt in the business, so interest rate rises don't affect us immediately, but they do affect us indirectly because some of our clients might have debt, for instance.
Yeah.
So there's also what I kind of look at as like the domino effect, the ripple effect. So while something might not affect you or harm you immediately, there is always a knock-on effect. And for me, any good CEO should have the ability to see round corners. That is your job, and if you can do that efficiently and calmly, then you will get to live another day. And that's the key. So,
Wow.
yeah, I think, for me, that's really important. And just adapting and evolving. I mean, I've been, running my own company for 20 years. I'm 41. So, it's nearly 50% of my existence on this planet, and probably 90% of my existence as an adult. So when you have been through 2 decades, a lot of stuff has happened that is way, way, way out of your control. Wars, financial crunches, government changes, Mother Nature does stuff. Yeah, do you know what I mean? There are so many things you cannot control. I think so many people also worry about the things they can't control or influence and get eaten up by them. And then the other eye is watching their competitors, and they actually forget to even look at themselves.
Yeah.
Focus on your own game. You're the only person you're competing with is yourself. And so many people, I think, try and sprint a marathon and then fall short, and then go into kind of like this narcissistic doom of it's everybody else's fault and it's everything else is wrong with the world. And actually, it's probably because they didn't do something right themselves.
Wow. That was amazing. I think fresh insights, amazing perspective. And let me come to the final question of this interview. What's your vision and what's your purpose of life?
Oh, that's a really good question. It probably changes depending on what mood I'm in. I mean, I think vision and purpose for me are almost the same thing, because, what you practice should be what you preach. So the things I'm really passionate about is when people say no, or that can't be done, or that underestimating of ability, and then you as the underdog then deliver. That's quite a great feeling. But for me, it's like helping people, supporting people, opening doors, helping other people fulfill their dreams, because I think there's a very, very big piece of karma that comes in business. I always say to people, you only get to screw me over once. You might get to screw me over twice. And if you screw me over 3 times, then I'm the idiot. And having that kind of approach and having that belief in karma and that, all the things associated to it, that sets you up for success. That really sets you up for success, especially when you're helping other people, especially if you're helping them with wealth creation and all those sort of things. Because I can tell you, there is nothing more boring in life than getting rich on your own. I've seen it with so many of my friends, and it's a very lonely, miserable place. It's comfortable. It's very comfortable, but it's bloody lonely. It's miserable. It's
It
soul
is. It
destroying.
is. And when you are lonely, all those comfort don't help at all. So
Agreed. Yeah,
I really
100%.
agree. I'm impressed with, the kind of, I think when people talk about their purpose and vision, they end up talking about charity. And I think I had this fresh perspective from you where, you know, you are looking at helping people, businesses
Yeah,
to be successful, and in
yeah,
turn, they could fulfill their dreams. So
yeah. I think life is one big charity. Do you know what I mean? Like, You know,
Yeah.
if you're a good person and you do nice things for lots of different people, it doesn't always have to be giving people money. It can be creating opportunities. It can be opening doors. It can be genuinely just helping somebody solve a problem or fix to a solution that's required. So I think if you're always charitable in your efforts, that's kind of like the foundations of success and being a decent person. Then it comes the detail and you know what kind of fires you up, what you enjoy, what you get your kicks out of. And you know, mine is seeing other people succeed. I like it.
Thank you
Especially if
so
other
much.
people wrote them off as well. You know, they're the best ones when everyone else has written them off. You give them a little bit of time, a little bit of guidance, open a couple of doors, and all of a sudden they flourish. That's where the magic happens.
Fantastic. Matt, you are really an amazing person, a great
Very
leader,
kind.
a very successful serial entrepreneur. You absolutely know what you're doing. You have structures in place that I have never heard in my life. Um, especially that 4 p.m. is just not going out of my mind. Uh, yeah.
Try it. If you ever do an acquisition, try it because
Well,
you gain the other person's respect like instantly as well.
yeah, yeah, and I just feel that I can modify that and probably use it in other aspects of work life as well.
Mm,
Certain things don't talk to me before 4 p.m. and then you get your creative work done by 4 p.m. and you can
mm,
have your admin after 4 p.m., which means
yeah,
you know any niggly issues with employees and maybe something that that you don't want to deal with as
yeah.
part of the day, right? You can deal with in that period, which is fantastic.
But what it kind of what it kind of confirms as well is it enables you to be present. And that is probably when you're running a company in lots of different time zones and you're really, really busy. Often you can be in situations where you're nodding and the information's going in, but it's not registering and you'll never remember it. And
Yeah,
that's detrimental to those relationships that are around you. So if you can kind of compartmentalize things and have some structure around things, it means that the people that you're engaged with will get the best version of you as well, rather than half of you.
amazing, amazing. I must say that this is the season 2 of Great People Interview series, but I must say this is one of the best interviews
Oh,
I've
that's very kind of you,
had.
Sachin. I bet you say that to everybody.
No, no, no. You can. Well, this is being recorded, and you can see all the previous recordings that are available. And you know, yeah, I just feel that
Very kind.
it came very naturally, and I it's just flown
Pleasure.
into the conversation, and I just find there are amazing insights for the audience to listen to. I think it's going to help a lot of people who are either entrepreneurs or wanting to become entrepreneurs. So what do they look for, and so on. And of course, uh, it'll also help the people who want to who are not in the UK and want to be part of this market. So fantastic. So thank you once again for your time.
Thanks for having
We
me.
appreciate your sharings.
Thank you so much.